Every single day, you probably log into, a dozen different apps just to do your job? But have you ever stopped to think about what's standing guard, making sure only you get access to your company's important data? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that invisible force that powers millions of secure logins, Microsoft Entra ID, which you might know by its old name, Azure AD.
Just think about your workday. You're logging into email, team chats, project management tools, cloud storage, and you're doing it from anywhere, your laptop at home, maybe a coffee shop. For companies, that's a huge challenge, right? Managing who gets access to what and from where, it's a lot. So who is guarding that digital front door?
Well, to solve this very modern problem, you need a smart, digital gatekeeper. The best way to think about it is like a bouncer at a super exclusive club, but for all your company's apps and data. So let's dive into our first section, guarding the cloud gates.
Look, the modern work environment is basically this giant tangled web of applications. Your team needs seamless access to Microsoft 365, Teams, SharePoint, and probably 100 other cloud services just to get their work done. And trying to manually manage passwords and permissions for every single one of those, oh man, that is a recipe for disaster. So how in the world do we untangle this web? Well, let's meet the hero of our story, the technology that was built from the ground up to handle this cloud-first world. At its very core, Microsoft Entra ID is exactly that digital bouncer we were just talking about. It's a cloud-based service from Microsoft that's totally focused on one critical thing: identity and access management. It's all about making sure the right people get access to the right stuff at the right time, and, just as importantly, keeping the wrong people out. Okay, so let's look at the tools Entra ID uses to get this done. And these aren't just features on a list, they're basically its superpowers. You've got single sign-on, which means one password for everything. Awesome. Multi-factor authentication, that extra layer of security. Then there's conditional access, which is the real brain, saying things like, hey, if this person is logging in from a new country, they need to prove who they are again. And finally, role-based access control, which makes sure a sales guy can't get into the engineering code. Makes sense, right?
So that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like on a normal Tuesday morning? Let's walk through what it feels like for you, the user. This is the magic of single sign-on, or SSO. You start your day, you type in your company email and password. Just once. Behind the scenes, Entra ID does a quick check, confirms it's you, and then boom, you're in. Outlook, Teams, SharePoint, whatever you need, it all just opens up. No more password pop-ups. It's just seamless.
Now, this is a really key point where people get confused. How is this different from that old-school Active Directory? Well, here it is, crystal clear. Traditional AD was built for the office, managing things like printers and file servers inside the building. Microsoft Entra ID is built for the cloud, managing access to apps that live on the internet. It's the old guard versus the modern gatekeeper.
But, it's not always an either-or kind of thing. A lot of organizations are still in transition, so they use what's called a hybrid model. This lets them sync their on-site Active Directory with Entra ID in the cloud, basically building a bridge between that old world and the new one.
Okay, so it's convenient, we get it. But what's really, really powerful is how Entra ID isn't just a master key, it's also your smart security shield. Let's see how it's actively protecting you.
And this is where it gets really clever. See, Entra ID isn't just a passive gatekeeper. It's a security guard that is always on patrol. It's analyzing billions of signals in real time, looking for anything that seems a little off. A login from a weird location, an attempt from a sketchy device, you name it. And when it spots that suspicious activity, it takes action immediately. It can automatically block that login attempt before any damage is done, protecting your data and the whole company network, often without the IT team even having to lift a finger.
So the crucial point is this: your identity, your login, your password, has become the new security perimeter. In a world where we work from anywhere, protecting that identity is hands down the most critical part of cybersecurity.
And one of the simplest yet most powerful ways it protects you is by enforcing multi-factor authentication, or MFA. All this means is that it asks for a second piece of proof that it's really you, usually a code from an app on your phone. It's like the bouncer checking your ID and then also asking for the secret password. It's a simple step that blocks over 99.9% of automated attacks. That's huge.
All right, this is all fascinating tech, I know, but what does it actually mean for your career? Let's connect the dots here because this is important.
So if you're in any of these roles, or if you want to be, understanding Entra ID is just non-negotiable.
If you're in IT support, you're troubleshooting login issues. A cloud engineer, you're setting up new apps with it. A security professional, you're practically living in this system, hunting for threats. It's everywhere.
And really, that's the big takeaway today. In our cloud-first world, managing identity is everything. Knowing your way around a platform like Microsoft Entra AD isn't just some bonus skill for your resume anymore. It is an absolutely essential, foundational skill for pretty much any modern role in technology.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. For decades, we protected our companies with a big digital wall called a firewall. But now that our data and our work is everywhere, in the cloud, is your personal digital identity the new, true firewall? Something to think about. That's all for this explainer. Stay curious.